So I don't want to, end this presentation on a very cautious note. I'm also going to talk about some opportunities. And these opportunities come from, the trend of premiumization that Mr. Mariwala also spoke about. This is actually the data for TTM or trailing 12 months EBITDA growth across sectors. And one common theme that emerges is that, the segments that are targeting the bottom of the economy or mass segments are not doing as well as the segments that are targeting aspiration of rising middle class India. So if you see agri products or FMCG products, as you would have also heard in the commentaries of a lot of FMCG companies, the growth scope is very limited. But if you look at, liquor consumption or anything which is related to travel or hospitality or restaurant chains or anything that suggests, shows a sign of affluent India, rising India, that theme is doing very well. So we are also looking at opportunities accordingly. We are looking at, premiumization trends playing out in different businesses. Premiumization trends not just in terms of consumption, but also within the companies itself. So there are a lot of companies that are undergoing a value migration phase where they're moving away from commoditized segments to niche segments where the margins are better. Let's say any kind of shift from B2B to B2C, for example, in case of Garhwale High-Tech Films. In Pricol, it's a case of, more beautiful and aesthetically rich instrument clusters within high-class vehicles. For Shelly Engineering, it's a shift from just being a supplier to home furnishing retail giant to also manufacturing and complex engineering products in the healthcare system. For Mayur Unicoaters, it's about shifting away from just commoditized segments like footwears to export OEMs where the competition is relatively very less. Another factor that I want to highlight is that, in these markets, we have seen a lot of insider sales happening, IPOs coming where promoters are diluting their stake. So I think that this is one of the very good indicators to start tracking, not basing your buy decision. So if insiders are buying their shares for any number of reasons, but Peter Lynch has said that insiders might sell their shares for any number of reasons, but they buy them for only one, they think the price will rise. And although, we have not really done a very long-term or 10-year kind of backtesting, but I've been tracking this theme in the last few years and I've come across, some very great insights that it's actually happening. You do see some kind of decent price rise in the stocks where there's consistent insider buying at growing prices. Some examples of this are Link Limited. So, and especially at this time when, the insiders are selling in small cap space, almost in 25% of the stocks, promoters have diluted space. In last 1 year, over 40% of the stocks, promoters are diluting stakes. So in this environment, if people are buying from the open market at current market prices, I think this could be a very good starting point to dig deeper. Some examples where insider buying has happened in the last 3 months, and I've only chosen the ones where there is a certain quantum of buying at the market price and the stocks which are trading close to the current market price. This does not imply any kind of view. This is just a starting point and, something to dig further from.